Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sport Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Wednesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to our friends over in Queensland in particular and go just north of Brisbane to Redcliffe in particular and, of course, speak to the Redcliffe Tigers women's football team. And, of course, we've got a very special guest on the show. Of course, her name is Samantha Rose. She joins us right now. Thanks, Sam, for joining us.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Well, tell us. Obviously, it was a pretty short season due to COVID. I'm assuming your team got to play each other against your opponents at least once this year. Tell us a bit about the season.
Look, it was obviously because of COVID, I think for everybody, we didn't know if there would be a season. And as the time sort of went on, it was becoming clear that maybe we wouldn't get one. And then all of a sudden we heard there was a fixture and there would be an 8-game season instead of normally, we might play 15 or 16 games. And we had pretty much 4 weeks to get back into training and, our first game. And I think it's sort of, everyone was really happy to see each other again. And we had to you'd have to say if you were going to turn up to training because they had to add you to a list and you're only allowed, a certain amount of people. So that was, it was fine. It was okay because most of the time we didn't sort of get 20 to training anyway. So sometimes it wasn't so bad. So, so that's kind of how it happened. And we were all really happy to start get the season underway. And I think a lot of us realised that maybe we weren't as fit as we should have been because of being in isolation and things like that. So, it was good fun and it was good to, get back with the crew again and have a few laughs. Yeah.
Mentioned 8 games was played throughout the season. I guess obviously I think there was 12 teams in your competition this year. So if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah, so we didn't get to play all the other teams. And I think that was the same for everybody. There was a few teams that, there was some away games. There was a bit of travel. It wasn't so bad. And then a couple of sort of the local teams. So we only had to travel, I think, three times maybe for the longer games, but it wasn't so bad.
I guess lucky for where yous are, that yous were smack bang in the middle of all, of course, of the Sunshine Coast clubs and obviously the clubs that were south of Brisbane, but they got put into the North Conference. I guess how difficult was that to, even though yous were in the Northern Conference, I guess to go down, if you've got a chance to go down south to like places like Maruka and Ipswich and all those places, if you had to go on the road?
So we had to play Ipswich. That was one of our away games, and I think that was round 3. But round 1 was up the other end towards the Sunshine Coast, and we played the Noosa Tigers. And they were a new team to the competition, so we didn't know what we were going to expect. And my understanding is they actually won the flag. So they did flog. So in round 1, so that was sort of almost good that we know that they were a really good side. So yeah, that was good fun. So Ipswich was one of them. I played them before anyway, and they're a really nice bunch of ladies down there. Always quite welcoming, and they always play hard and give us a good run for our money.
When you saw the draw and you saw especially Ipswich and Maruka in the competition, even though they weren't nowhere near the northern part of the city, were you surprised that those two got put into the Northern Conference?
The conference that we're in, we normally play Ipswich anyway. Maruka, we didn't get to play Maruka in our one, so we would have played. I'm trying to think which way round we went. So we played Noosa. We played a game. I know we played Alex Hills, so they were on the south side, but they came to us. it's kind of every week sort of morphs into the next, because you play one game and then you're getting ready for the next one. So yeah, try to remember who we played. So we didn't play Maruka, I don't think.
Now tell us. Now tell us a couple of players in the team that had a standout year, and you can't include yourself.
I'll never include myself. No. So a couple of the players, I think, just it's hard to always pick it anyway, but because it's such a short season, a lot of the girls that came in, girls/ladies, a lot of them hadn't played before, so it was a very short round to learn how to play football. And usually there'd be practice matches and time for the coach to go through strategy, not in depth, but like the rules and sort of all these sorts of things. And I think for some of the girls it was, you're either going to sink or you're going to swim when they were going out there. So in my mind, definitely the Mints had a good season. I would say Chloe, she hadn't played before, little Chloe, she was really good, and Lily was very impressive. And a couple of other ones would be Rose. She hadn't played before, so that was her first season as well. That's 3. Can I say a few more? Is it okay? I think another one of our younger ones, Stacey, she'll be a gun once she learns all the rules and works out, on the field as well. And Michaela's another one. So definitely, some of the younger ones really very impressive. And it's good to see that, because they're the ones that obviously are the future of the club. I'm obviously a little bit older these days, so I'm not really sure how many seasons I've got left in me anyway. So yeah.
Now you do mention about the youth players coming through. I guess, how special is that, and how important is that to see the development of the youth girls coming through there at Redcliffe?
Oh, look, I think they've got a brilliant under-17s team that are there, and I think we may have had one player that played under-17s last year, that was actually in the team this year anyway. So, and they've got the under-15s team. We did like a footy camp at the pre-season. I think it was sort of October, November, and there was quite a lot of interest. But then I think with COVID as well, it kind of, everything sort of went sort of south a little bit. So the culture of the club is really good with the youth, and a lot of the women get out there and support the girls as well on the weekends when they can. A lot of us we've got kids of our own, and some of them play at Redcliffe, some of them play at other clubs. My son plays at a different junior footy club. So we're all, always travelling everywhere around. And I think for most of us, we were just happy that we got to play footy. I mean, everywhere else didn't get to sort of play footy. So for us, it was pretty special year anyway, I think, because we got to play.
Now, for you, obviously you play there at Redcliffe, and obviously I think you just had an upgrade just recently at that ground at Redcliffe. Of course, one of the most picturesque venues that I've been to up north. Tell us how special is the play on that ground?
So the new ground, it's Nathan Road in Redcliffe, Rothwell. It's amazing. The facilities there now they're amazing, and the ground itself. When we first got to go down there, it's like a carpet. The grass was, literally just like a carpet. It was just lovely, and it's surrounded sort of by sort of houses as well, so it's got a really sort of community feel to it already, where it's actually located. It's really exciting to play there. I enjoy still playing on the old ground, I think because it's a bit smaller and it's got more of a country feel, the older ground, I think. So for me, I enjoy that as well. So, yeah, we've got the 2 grounds, so it's really good. And I would imagine, I think we were playing anyway, but I think Collingwood and the Suns had a bit of a scratch match there as well. So it's good enough for the AFL. So, yeah, it's good enough for us. So, yeah, it's good.
Now, you mentioned about the 2 grounds there. I don't think I've ever been to the old ground, the other ground that you just mentioned. I guess for anyone out there, how far is that from each other? And which grounds would you prefer the most?
Oh, look, the ground at the old oval is at Rothwell Park, and it's just literally it's like country footy. It's the club there, the club room's there. It's just a smaller oval. It's usually, if it's been raining, there's a few ducks swimming there and things like that. And it's nice, you get covered in mud and you get a booty. When you least expect it, you think the ground's dry and all of a sudden your foot's in it, and you've got mud up to your ankles. But that's it's just, and it's a really sort of almost like a spongy ground, like to play on. It's really nice. It's really good. Whereas Nathan Road, it can be a bit sort of, it's a bit harder, the ground there. So they're two different types of grounds completely anyway to play on. And I think my old bones recover a bit better from playing on the smaller ground, the Rothwell Park, because it's a bit more spongy.
Now, how did you get involved in footy and why did you choose it?
Oh, why did I choose it? Well, I've come from England originally, but I'm Victorian, so I've been up here for 10 years in Brisbane. And been around the footy clubs in Melbourne because my husband played as well, and I'm a very big Bomber supporter. And I just got my son involved in the under-8s as soon as he was able to play. So he was playing, I think, I'll have to do the math. So I think his first season was 2012, and he's playing under 14s now. So I think he was maybe 7, I think 6 or 7 when we had his first season. So I've just been, taking him to his footy games and things like that and progressed. And we moved from a particular area and went to a different club. And I used to take him down there and the little one as well. And I'd leave the little one in the pram and I'd do laps around the oval while he was training. And one of the women there, she said to me, you want to come train with us? And I'm like, oh, no, I can't do that. Because it would have been their first season there as a club. This wasn't Redcliffe, because Redcliffe's, this is their second year. So it was another club, Pine Rivers. I said, oh, no, I'll play. I'll play next year. And then, of course, next year came around and I got the call up and I'd already said I was going to play. So I was like, okay, well, I said I would. So, okay, I'll come down and, and I sort of haven't looked back. I think, I love, it's different when you watch it on telly and then you play it. It's very, very different. I think you get a really different perspective on the game itself. And it's not easy. And it can be fast as well. So, you have a better appreciation, I think, of the footy in general when you start to play it yourself, and the knocks and the bumps and things like that. So I just got involved with that and that club, and then I'm a bit injury prone, so I had a little bit of time off, and then I found myself filling in down at the Tigers for a couple of games because a few of my old teammates were down there, and just a fantastic club, and I stayed there, and it's been really nice, and the coach is really nice. He's a really positive guy and very, very helpful. I say coaches. We've got 2, our assistant coach as well, and it's just a fantastic bunch of people, and it's really it's nice to get out with your mates and kick the footy around. It's lovely.
Now, any football highlights?
Oh, football highlights. I think in general, it's that this year is probably a highlight because we got to play. So I think that's probably a good one. I think my first season of footy would have been a highlight. I think because everything was, you know, sort of brand new and shiny. So every experience was you know, your first win. And I think the first year I playing against Sandgate in a preliminary final, we got through. So that was good. I think we ended up third on the ladder that year. So that was with Pine River. So that was a lot of fun. I think kicking my first goal, I think, and just friendships, you know, the friendships that you make there. I think that they sort of, it's not until later on you sort of realise, you know, how many friends you've made and along the way. And yeah, I think they would be my highlights.
Now, I'll get to Sandgate part in just a moment, but we'll go to the next question, which is what position do you play on the field? And if you had a preferred position where you like to play on the field, where will that be?
I think I'm actually quite lucky because the position I play is actually the position that I really like, and that's the half-forward flank. You know, you get to run around and, you know, see ball, get ball kind of thing. It's good. I think as I'm getting a little bit older, I might like to just tuck myself into the forward pocket there somewhere, and maybe just, that'd be nice. So I haven't got to run so far. Yeah, so definitely. So at the moment, I think, half forward flanks, I like it, but I could see myself maybe just, being a bit of a lazy forward pocket maybe, or maybe even down back. I don't mind down back as well. It's pretty good.
Now, what does the sport of football mean to you, and especially playing for Redcliffe?
Oh, I think just the sport in general. I think it's a community within a community. I'm very passionate about football anyway, so I think when you're passionate about something, it means a lot anyway. But I think just Redcliffe, it's just got a really nice country feel to it, even though now your ground and everything, and it's just so welcoming and friendly. And I think just in general, I think footy clubs are like that anyway, you know. And if you're sort of at a loss to, you know, where you fit in anywhere, just get yourself down to a footy ground and just join in a club. But you don't have to play. You can volunteer. You can do anything really. I think so. The footy clubs, they give back. I think that it's a really good feel, and I like that. You know, I like the fact that, you know, you've got that community there, and you'll always, you know, there's so many people, you meet so many people from different walks of life, and I think that you meet people that you never would under any other circumstances, and, you know, they become your friends, you know, your best friends and things like that, and you never would normally meet people like this. So I think it draws everybody in, and I think especially Redcliffe, they've got the juniors, they've got the youth, the girls, the Colts, you know, there's seniors, reserves, and then you've got the masters for the guys anyway. So it's all the way through, and I think there's a lot of experience there as well because they've got their masters team. So they're always helping out with the younger ones and the women's team, and, you know, it's just a really inclusive place to be, and it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter who you are. You're always welcome at a footy club, I think, and especially our footy club. We love everyone. If you love footy, we love you, basically.
Yeah. Now, being a former Melburnian, obviously this year the grand final was in Brisbane due to Melbourne's lockdown. I guess when you heard that news, what did that mean to you?
Oh, I think as a Queenslander now, I suppose I would call myself a Queenslander. I think it's brilliant because it's when I first came here, Friday night footy was rugby on the telly, and I was mortified because it was supposed to be a Bombers game, and I switched on the TV and it was rugby, and I'm like, where's the footy? You know, and then we had to go. We ended up having to get Foxtel so we could watch all the footy, and I think it's really opened it up here. It's really made a difference, and there are people now that wouldn't have seen the sport before that are getting on board with the footy, and I think that in itself will grow like footy AFL in Queensland. And, you know, when I moved up, you know, to find people to talk about footy with was very rare. You wouldn't really find them because they were all, you know, the rugby supporters. So I think just, in general, I think it's really exciting, and, you never know, you might, one of us in our family might get to go, or, something, it'd be really special. Be good fun. I think it would be different from the MCG for sure. I think it's fun all the same. And I think it's a twilight game as well, isn't it? So that'll be different again. So you wouldn't want to spend the day up here because of the humidity and the heat. So it's probably a good thing.
Now, what will be your advice to our Queensland listeners and viewers that should get down to Redcliffe and get involved in footy in 2021?
Oh, just come on down. Training, there'll be somebody at the club all the time when pre-season starts anyway. Normally there's, you've got the junior training, you've got the youth training. For the women's training, it's Monday and Wednesday nights. Masters training Wednesday nights, and then you've got your seniors, your men's seniors, they do Tuesdays and Thursdays. So usually you'll find somebody at the club, if you want to find out some information, or get on our Facebook page. We've got some great people behind the scenes, our volunteers that are always doing great work and posting things up on the Facebook pages. And they never really get the acknowledgement, so they'll always contact you and let you know what's happening around the club. So yeah, we'd love to see some new faces down there. It'd be great.
Now let's finish up with a couple light-hearted questions about your teammates there at Redcliffe. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moments on the field this season, and what was it?
Oh, I can't even, I think because this season was so short, I can't even remember who it was. It was one of the newer girls, ran the wrong way with the ball. Might have been at the Noosa game, actually. I can't remember who it was, but one of the newer players. And we were all screaming out, "You're going the wrong way!" But that's pretty funny. So that's on the field. I think you sort of, a few of us have you get a tackle and you fall on your face. I mean, they're quite embarrassing, and you hope that nobody sees it. But then some of the games get recorded, end up seeing it, or someone's taken a picture. Sort of things you don't live down. I think I copped a falcon maybe. Maybe at training. I don't think in the games, but things like that. So yeah.
Yes, I think that's become a bit of a common theme in footy up in Queensland. People people kicking it the wrong way. Now, I interviewed, I guess, one of your opponents this year in Sandgate. Now, I believe there was a after-game little incident that happened where... Now, I think you know what I'm about to ask you about. Now, I believe...
I think so.
To thank the opposition and the umpires, I believe mistakenly said the wrong opponent to your team. Can you tell us a bit about that from your point of view? Because I know that was one of their most embarrassing moments.
So it was actually quite funny because I was, we were in the huddle and I was next to one of my old teammates from Pine Rivers. So we'd played for Pine Rivers anyway. And the captain, you always 3 cheers for the opposition and everything. Jesus, 3 cheers for Pine Rivers. And someone just shouts, "It's Redcliffe!" And then, personally, I started laughing. I thought it was pretty funny. But because I'd played there, so I was like, "Oh, I'll take that." I used to play there. So, I think most of us thought it was really funny. And I think, you have to remember as well, you're running around out there and you've got your 4 quarters, and I don't know if other people are the same, but I can't even remember name, let alone, team names and things when you finished a game, because you're absolutely cooked anyway. So I don't really think, we didn't take offence, and the girls, they came into the club rooms, had a few drinks and had a few laughs. So yeah, it's good fun.
At least someone remembered it. So
It's very funny.
I was a bit worried that no one knew about it. So
No, we all remembered it. It's very funny. I don't think she'll live it down if we play them again next season. I think I don't think she'll live it down. I can't remember who it was. It was the captains of Brooke, is it? I think maybe.
yeah, yeah, you got that one right, too.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. So I think I mean, look, it's the women's footy. It's hard. It's it's hard going sometimes, but it's pretty lighthearted, and most of us, it's a way to sort of, get out there, get a bit of exercise, and sort of, you can just be yourself. You're not someone's wife or mother or partner or whatever when you're out there. So we all pretty much take it, take anything like that with a pinch of salt. Really, I think it's funny.
Now, who's the comedian in the team?
In our team, there's probably a couple, but Giggles, as the name implies, is very funny. She hasn't even got to speak, and she makes people laugh. She's awesome, absolutely awesome. Very, very funny, very funny lady. And Bridge is probably pretty funny as well. She's one of our other teammates. She's quite funny. Her one-liners crack me up. So yeah.
Now, any good singers and dancers we should know about?
Oh, definitely not me. I think I suppose it's probably a good one. She'll be dancing out on the field. I think the season's we haven't had the usual sort of shenanigans that we get up to because of the season being so short and not being able to sort of go out and about and sort of find these things out about some of the newer girls as well. I'm sure there's a couple of hidden gems in there that we'll find next year. But probably I'd have to say Giggles again. She's a bit of a legend at the footy club.
Yeah, you just mentioned about nicknames. Any good nicknames in the team we should know about as well?
I'm not really sure. I think again, normally a longer season, you'd end up naming somebody, something. So most of I mean, my name's Samantha, and people call me Rosie, which is not really, it's not really that fun. No, I don't really think so this year. I think maybe most people were sort of, you just shorten their first names. I think it's a very Australian thing to shorten everybody's names if they're quite long. Anyway, there's one of our teammates. I think she might get called Rainbows because she there was a game that we were playing. I can't remember who it was against. I think it might be in Hinterland. And there was these rainbows, and the ball's coming in, and she's looking at the rainbows, waiting, and she's like, "Oh, look, there's rainbows." She might end up with something funny, for that one. And you've always got your teammates that don't, they'll turn up and they'll forget, their clothes and things like that, and they've left their bag at home or something like that. So I think if you keep playing the footy, the names end up sticking anyway, and funny things sort of come out of it. So
Now we'll finish off with two final ones, which is, now you just mentioned about forgetfulness in the team. Who's the most forgetful person in the team?
It has to be Michaela. It would have to be Michaela. She would forget something. She needs to double check a lot of things before she comes to the game, I think. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
and we'll finish off with this one last one, which is, I'm assuming there's some pre-game songs to hype the team up before a game. If so, who runs the playlist and what's the worst song on it?
I think because again it was a season and everything, I'd had a playlist on my Spotify anyway and took a speaker to some of the games, and I think the girls didn't like my music, so maybe that wasn't a good thing. But I think there's a couple of the other girls now. I think Kelsey, she's got a playlist going now. I think Rose might have one as well. So it's probably a bit more up their alley kind of thing, with the music. Apparently mine was a bit too sedate. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having you on the show. Obviously, we can't wait to hopefully get up to Queensland ourselves to watch the Redcliffe Tigers in action. And obviously, we can't wait to hopefully have a full season this time, going back to in 2021. And hopefully for the Tigers, they just can get into the finals and hopefully go all the way in 2021.
Yeah, hopefully. If there's any listeners out there, get yourself down there. It's going to be an awesome season, I think, 2021. Be great. Thank you so much.
No worries. And that's Samantha Rose joins there from the Redcliffe Tigers women's football team. Make sure you get down there to Redcliffe in particular. Of course, have one of the fantastic venues up in the north of Brisbane. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about getting involved there at Redcliffe. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on Lockdown Wednesday.